Hey everyone, welcome back. Today, I'm excited to teach you how to use a formula that I've been using for years, concatenate, right? And not only that, I will also try to tell you in this video what is the difference between concatenate and concat. And I will take this a step ahead to tell you what is a better alternative to concatenate or concat, which is text join. And in which case should you use text join versus in which case do you use concatenate or concat, right? Um, Before I do that, I'll quickly set the difference between concatenate and concat. So with concatenate, what you can do is you can append multiple strings to one another, right? So what that means is you can have, let's say, for example, LeBron, William, James, and you can concatenate all three, right? For those of you who don't know what this does, concatenate function essentially allows you to bring together, or for simple terms, tie together three values, right, in three different cells. So that's what concatenate allows you to do. With concat, the only limitation that is there is that you are limited only to two values. So you can concat only two values, right? So let's first start by understanding how concatenate and concat works, right? So if I type my formula here for concatenate, and if I select my string 1, comma, string 2, comma, string 3, then very simply put, what this will do is it will join these three values, right? So if you see, it has joined LeBron, William, James, right? Now, if you wanted to do that, but also bring in space in between so that somebody who's reading this can understand that this is the first name, last name, and middle name, then you can also do space, right, comma, the value followed by space again, comma, the value, and you see it automatically adds the space. So you can almost put anything in between the concatenate and it will join all of those things. You just have to separate those by comma, right? So that's how easy it is to use concatenate. Now let's come to concat, right? So if I come here and if I type is equal to concat, then I can just enter value 1 and 2, right? So I enter my value 1 and my value 2, right? And it will just basically join them together. I don't have any other flexibility in terms of what else can I do or what other values can I add, right? So that is the difference between concatenate and concat. Now I'm going to show you a quick difference between when to use concatenate versus when to use text join. Text join is a little more powerful than concatenate, right? So if I, for example, add, let's say here, for example, I have concatenated A2, B2, and C2, right, with space. If I copy this and I put it here, and I put it here again, if I copy this formula in these three cells, you see uh, there are two challenges right here. One, I have to specify each value one by one. So I specified A2 space, B2 space, C2. And in case of the second one, which is Kobe Bryant, I had no option but to show double space, right? That is exactly where text join comes into picture. Text join is very simple. It's simple, right? So you come in here, you type text join, right? It asks you for the delimiter. So delimiter is how do you want to separate the values that you're going to define in this, right? So my delimiter is going to be space. I just have to define it one. Ignore empty. What that means is, do you want to ignore if a cell is empty or do you not want to ignore? I want to ignore, so I'm going to press 1, or I could also type true, right? 1 is true. So yes, I want to ignore empty cells. And then I can add all my, I just have to select it once, right? I can select all my cells that I want to join. So you see it very simply picks up LeBron, William, James, right? And if I copy this here, Kobe Bryant and Manik Tower, right? So you see it also removes the additional space that is there in case of Kobe Bryant, right? So you can easily use concatenate, concat, or text join. All three of them do that, but all three of them have their own limitations, or all of them have their own customizations, right? So that's, in very simple terms, concatenate, concat, and text join. But I also want to show you one simple thing, which is how you can use multiple other functions or formulas inside concatenate, right? So let's assume that there are let's assume that here I'm the manager of NBA and I'm supposed to calculate the total points scored by different teams in a league, right? But not only that, I also want to show that in a sentence, right? There are two ways I can do this. So I can come in here and I can say concatenate, right? And I can type in my text, the total score of all the teams in the league, and I can close this, comma, our league is, right? And I can add a space, and then I can add a sum function within this, and I can define what is my range that I want to sum, right? So if I sum this and I close this, you see it says the total score of all the teams in the league is 601, right? So that's how easy it is. You just type your concatenate, what is the text you want to add before the sum of the values, and then you add the sum function, right? Or what you could do is you can have your sentence already written and you can reference to a cell, right? So concatenate, reference to this cell, comma, space, comma, sum of these cells, right? And if I close this, the result is the same, right? So the total score of the league is 601. I hope you found value in how you could use concatenate, concat, Textjoin, and multiple functions. I just wanted to show you how you could use some, but you could essentially use anything within concatenate, a VLOOKUP, a COUNTIF, a COUNTA, so on and so forth. If you have any feedback or questions, feel free to leave your comments and I'll be happy to help. Thank you so much.